Alphabet shares jumped on reports that Apple's in talks to use Google's Gemini AI to revamp Siri. Finally, joining us now is Dr. Karen Sutherland from the University of the Sunshine Coast. Great to see you as always, Karen. Now, what does Apple stand to gain tapping Google's Gemini for Siri? We know that they're using ChatGPT, and we know that so many people are very frustrated when it comes to Siri.
It has to get better than what it is. You'd think so, right? Even now with ChatGPT in there, so I have it set so it can access my account through there, and it's the clunkiest thing ever that I barely use Siri for that. So I'm hoping with Gemini, it'll be much smoother. It'll be integrated into most things. So then when you are asking questions, asking for particular songs, etc., it will actually get you the correct answer that you're looking for.
Yes, I had a situation last night where I was driving along, asked Siri to play a song in the car because I didn't want to touch the phone, obviously, and it played the instrumental karaoke version of a well-known song. And I'm thinking, how would it get that so wrong? That's the first thing it decides to do. It just seems so counterintuitive to what it's meant to be doing. And it's not a new product.
That's right. And I think too, this is how I use Siri as well. I rarely use it. Sometimes I'll ask for weather or something like that, which is pretty straightforward. But when I'm in the car, that's when I'm asking for things. And then every now and again, most of the time it says no because I'm driving. But every now and again it will say, would you like ChatGPT to look into that? And I say yes. And then it just goes on this loop, and then it takes so long that don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who's ever been able to get the ChatGPT side to work. How significant, though, is this for Google, given its search deals face regulatory risk? And really, Google's been under a lot of threat from OpenAI.
Yes, it's actually going to be quite interesting because you're right, Google is under pressure at the moment. But if this comes together, it'll mean that there's two monopolies coming together, so to speak. So would that actually get them out of the lawsuits that they're going through at the moment for being a monopoly and dominating the space? So who knows? It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But Apple is also in talks with Anthropic and OpenAI's ChatGPT as well. So they haven't made a clear decision. So I think they're seeing who's out there and what will work.
Well, is their browser, right? Like Google's been the default browser for Safari for many years, but you can change it to Bing. You can actually change the search engine if you want to. And I suppose that might be a similar strategy. Why do you think Apple's lagged behind in defining its AI strategy compared to its rivals? We've heard from the different executives say, look, AI, it's just part of our business. It isn't our entire business. And there's AI involved right throughout everything you do in Apple. You're just not aware of it. But in terms of consumer use of AI with Apple, it does not feel like a leader.
No, I think they'll just wanted to sit back and see how the technology advanced and then try and leverage the existing models out there to save money in generating their own, possibly. But what if they could actually bring all three together and then use them in a way that would be an amazing experience for the user? Who knows how it's going to play out?
Who knows indeed. AI is creeping into the music world, but when it impersonates real artists, it crosses into fraud and identity theft. Talk to us about this, because we've seen an artist who didn't know that they'd released an album.
Yes. So this is outrageous. Her name is Emily Portman, and she's a folk artist. And she received a message from one of her fans saying, I really love the new album. The album is called Orca. And she's like, what do you mean? She hadn't actually produced a new album. And so what had happened is someone had trained AI on all of her music catalogue and then used it to generate a new album that even her fans couldn't tell that it was AI.
Wow. And we are told that pretty soon it will get so good that is the case, which is terrifying. And the use of AI in music as well. What's the difference between using AI as a creative tool and using it to deceive?
It's there to help you amplify your work and your creativity, not steal somebody else's. And that's a real issue. And it's also happening in the publishing space, where there's been incidents where AI has been used and trained on an author's existing works, and then a new novel has been generated using AI and sold on Amazon, and the actual author has had nothing to do with it. And that person who's done that is actually pretending to be the author and reaping the benefits. So it's actually a real worry around copyright and just creative ethics, really.
Yeah, the creative ethics are interesting, because technically you could take a song that you love and make it go for half an hour by asking AI to essentially extend and expand the song. A total eclipse of the heart will go on forever in my case. So the serious
That's
threat
my
about it.
karaoke song. Hang on.
That may or may not have been the song that I was trying to get played last night. On that note, I think we should leave it there. You're giving far too much about my life away. We'll talk to you again soon.